Okay. He was in the army. He's multilingual. He is half Russian. He is an assassin in a previous life. He's hyper, I forget the right word.
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's
And if
newsman,
you're just
Logan
joining
Crawford.
investigators, they now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into a wonderful new book. It is called My Name is Kreussenheimer, Volume 1, Be Someone Else's Putty. This is a gripping new novel written by Dale A. Preuss. It is a story of redemption, violence, and moral complexity. It follows a man trying to escape his shadowed past as a contract killer, only to find purpose again when fate drops a teenage runaway into his life. This is a psychological thriller that's as haunting as it is human, where every decision can mean salvation or damnation. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Good River Print and Media for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Dale, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. Great to have you on the show. Tell me a little bit about your inspiration to come up with this life of duality. Kevin, a former assassin who tries to live a normal family life, but is lurked and pulled back into the darkness.
Well, the whole thing started with four dreams that I had. I was home on medical disability. I needed something to do because I was driving myself crazy. And I sat down and typed out these dreams. They were so vivid and I wasn't forgetting them. And I felt it meant something. So I ended up with 45 pages, handed it to my wife who proofed it. She was my friend with her orange highlighter, my friend, and handed it back to me. And the first thing out of her mouth was, some parts are boring as hell. I thought, confidence boost. Um, but she pointed me in the right direction, that Rachel, the runaway teenager that you had mentioned, should be the focus of the story.
Hmm.
So I basically tore up 44 and a half pages of the 45 and started over again. And the working title at that point was Rachel, Memories of Things to Come.
Hmm.
I was writing this in 2010, and all the action started happening in 2015. So it was like I was prognosticating, or whatever that fancy word is. Um, I had hundreds of pages written. My wife was my editor. This was the thing that held our marriage together, actually, because we were in a rough spot. And then she died.
Oh.
And I didn't know what to do with all this. So I joined a writing workshop and learned very quickly. I had a lot to learn about writing. Writing a novel and doing Visual Basic for a living are two very different things. But the three main things that were driven home in that very first gathering of our group was, do not name people in your story after people you know, because it limits the scope of the character.
Hmm.
Okay. The protagonist was me, Dale, saving Rachel. Okay. That was my dream. Okay. So Dale's going to be out. The other thing was there were two women in the group. I called them the church ladies. And they were like, no man would do this for a runaway girl. He would take her to the police department, drop her off, and forget about her. He would not do what he did. And I'm like, yes, he would. No, he wouldn't. Yeah. So finally, I just said, okay, stop. After 2 weeks of that, I'm starting over. Brand new chapter one. Forget everything that I have written. And I basically, the first four chapters of the book in today's version, which hopefully is the end, is Kevin's backstory.
Yeah.
What made Kevin Kevin? And the original starts in chapter 5 when Rachel comes into the picture. So coming up with, okay, how do I remake Kevin? What should Kevin be? Because I didn't want Kevin to be me.
Mm.
because I'm a boring guy. Kevin is much more exciting. So, okay, he was in the army. He's multilingual. He is half Russian. He is an assassin in a previous life. He's hyper, I forget the right word. He's very smart,
Mhm.
almost a genius level IQ. And he can remember everything and plans everything out to the minutest detail, which is something I like to think I try to do. Um, but anyway, it marched forward. As I was writing at that point, it was let the characters direct the story. I had no plan. I had no idea where Kevin was going, where Rachel was going. I just sat down and wrote out an idea and thought, okay, let's run with this for a while. And I might go down that path for a week and then say, and back up and then go down a different path. And as it evolved, it just started getting more and more complicated, more and more intertwined, where
Mm.
something that happened out here on page 600 has something to do with what was on page 3.
Mm.
And I was able to tie all these things together in a very intricate web.
Yeah.
I still didn't know where it was going. And I kept writing and writing and writing. And then all of a sudden it's like, that's where it's going. Rachel ended up being the linchpin of an international conspiracy that she didn't even know about.
Right.
But you don't find that out until volume 4. Yeah, and we're talking about volume 1 today, but I mean, um,
It's a
it,
series. Yeah.
well, I was told in no uncertain terms, it's a serial, not a series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the series are freestanding. Mine are not. Mine build on each other.
Okay, gotcha.
It's 11 books in the serial. And thanks, Susan in New York. She's the one who showed me the light.
Hmm.
Um, I had lots of editors looking at this over the years, and each contributed something, and I took everything to heart.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. You've done great work on this. 11 books in the serial is quite amazing. Are they all available right now for sale?
The first, look what I have.
The first 3 books.
The first 3
Wonderful.
volumes. This represents the first 9 books of the 11. The last 2 and volume 4 are in the works, and God willing, will be available before Christmas.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Talk to us about the subtitle of this book, Book One, Be Someone Else's Putty. What does that phrase mean to you, and what should it mean to the audience?
The Be Someone Else's Putty is the title of the first book of the 11.
Mhm.
And it is, I would give so much away if I explained it.
Okay, well, don't give away too much. You know, no spoilers here. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's just Kevin has divine intervention, for lack of a better word, and he is told to be someone else's putty,
Mhm.
and that is meant to be Rachel.
Mhm.
Rachel is to be Kevin's putty, or
Mhm.
Kevin's putty for Rachel.
Gotcha.
He would, yeah. Um,
We
then
gotcha.
then the second book is titled "Open Your Heart."
Hmm.
Um, I think I have to look.
Well, with 11
Oh,
books, it's tough to keep track.
I'm sorry. Open Your Heart is the first book. Be Someone Else's Putty is the second book. And
Gotcha.
then Change Something Bad to Something Better is the third. Each of the titles of the books are almost for the freestanding book.
Hmm.
Although you can't start in book 4 and understand what's going on without reading books 1, 2, and 3, or at least the cliff notes.
Right.
And in the individual books that I have, I included previously, like a TV, previously,
Exactly.
and it's trying to jam hundreds of pages into 2 or 3. So, I
Right.
mean, it is a 50,000-mile high overview, but at least you won't start reading it and be lost.
Exactly.
Okay, you know who Kevin is, you know who Rachel is, you know who Joss is, but you won't you can't catch all the detail. I mean, that's
Yeah.
physically not possible.
Exactly. But you can catch up a little bit on the storyline. Have you envisioned this as a series of films or a TV series?
Yes, and
Yeah.
yes. Yes. At first it was okay, this could be like a 8, 10, or 12 episode 1 hour program on Netflix or whatever.
Hmm.
Then I thought, okay, if it's going to be a movie, it would have to be almost like Harry Potter,
Yeah.
in sections. I don't know that you'd need all 11, but you'd certainly need at least four.
Hmm.
Um, eh, I, I'm going to throw my shoulder off, patting myself on the back. I have had a number of people explain that, well, first, I was never going to have this thing published.
Hmm.
It's big, it's long, it's a very long story. And I just thought it's going to be physically not possible. I mean, it's just, and I was told, people read that stuff. They read, publish it, and over and over and over. So then I bit the bullet and got it published. And now it's like I'm ready to release it to the world. You
Hmm.
know, it took me 15 years to write.
Wow. Amazing.
Uh, yeah, and I have to say that 12 and a half of that probably was rewriting.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
But that's always a writer's job, writing and
going back.
rewriting.
Yep.
Yeah. What is it? Is it done now? Are these
Yes.
11 installments? No more. You're done as for this
Well,
storyline.
the woman I'm working with at Good River, her name is Erin Adler, and I nominate her for sainthood. Literally, she is just a sweetheart. Um, I broached the subject of I have an idea for a sequel, and she's like, "You better run it through me." You know, because
Wonderful.
she's good at read a good part, but I have a sequel in mind. Um, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It's Aaron's already wanting me to finish it, and like, okay, I'd like to start with the first paragraph.
Right.
It's an idea. It's an idea.
Exactly. Exactly. Who are your influences? Are you influenced more by film or by the literary world?
I would say literary world is way down on the list. I
Hmm.
had never been a reader my whole life. Um, the first the first series of novels that I read were actually Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling. And much of her influence, much of her writing style is incorporated into my serial in that something that happens you see a Horcrux in the third book, but you
Hmm.
don't know what a Horcrux is. You don't even hear the term, but there's this image, and it pops up again in the seventh book, the
Hmm.
seventh year, and so I did things like that in my story where I would drop something in here and
Hmm.
then reference it here and there, and then there's where it gets the exclamation point at the end. And I was fascinated with her writing that way.
Hmm.
My book it's not a children's book.
Yeah.
This is not designed for youth. This
Yeah.
is and the books get darker. That's another
Hmm.
thing that J.K. Rowling had said in an interview is that as the series went on, the story got darker. Well,
Hmm.
in mine, I'll put these in order.
Yep.
Book volume one is light, then it gets a little darker and a little darker. And by the time you get to the fourth volume out here, it's practically black.
Yeah.
The last book is dark,
Yep.
dark.
Yeah. Interesting, interesting. Well, she's a great influence, no doubt, to have J.K. Rowling as a mentor through videos or audios or whatever you are listening to her on. She's a great writer, and you've done a great job with these books. Let me ask you this before we leave, Dal.
Mhm.
What do you hope readers take away after they finish that last page of that last 11th book?
Um, hmm, this is hard to talk about. Um, it parallels what I hope is my personal legacy.
Hmm.
I obviously on steroids, but um, I'm hoping to leave a lasting message about myself, and I'm hoping that whoever the readers are can look at that and go, yeah, maybe I should think about doing the same. I mean, about what's going to happen after I'm gone, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Um,
Well, it's a long legacy, and that's a great, a long literary legacy. There's a good little alliteration, and you did a great job on these books. The name of the serial we've been talking about today is My Name is Kreussenheimer. We have been
right.
focusing primarily on volume one, but we talked about the entire series. There are 11 books in the serial, and they are emotional, they are chilling, they are a thriller of redemption and morality, as well as survival. And as Dale mentioned, the series gets darker as it goes along, and that just means it gets more intense and more riveting as well. Dale, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Well, thank you. I'd love to do it again.
I'd love to have you back on the show anytime. You're always welcome.
Volume two.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Looking forward to that sequel. To the folks at
Okay.
home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.